our chat show, Sri Irani.
Thank you so much, Murali. Namaskara, viewers.
After spending more than a decade in junior golf with the IGU, how did you think the scene had improved with the junior golf both in the north as well as in the south? And how was it seen after a period of time?
Actually, what happened at that point was we decided, Vijay and me sat down and we worked out a detailed plan on how to develop golf for the south, because that's what I was responsible for, being a part of representing the south in the junior committee. And what we found is that there's a lack of junior golf programs in clubs.
Okay.
B, there was no tournaments being held for juniors, so there was no place for them to gauge their performance with their peers. There was no proper coaching going on for them. And in fact, those days there were very few coaches as well.
Qualified
coaches, yes. So what we did was we formulated this plan. We went to Dilip. He magnanimously said, I'll fund it. In those days, 5 lakhs rupees a year, which we used. Then we spoke to all the golf clubs.
Okay.
And we got about 8 or 9 clubs on board. So this was about 2002, 2003. And it just took off.
Yeah.
The golf clubs were very happy that someone was coming in there guiding them. They all started junior golf programs. We started a tournament tour, South Zone tour.
South Zone, yeah.
Went up to 10 tournaments by 2003 end. And then we started selecting the players. Based on this, we had our own ranking system.
Yeah.
Based on that, we used to select the top 15 or so. And we used to have a 1-week coaching camp in-house. That was residential camp, an elite camp for the good players. And it was from there that these players started developing. And the numbers started growing. So much so that when the IGU actually hired a gentleman from Australia to come to India to do a report on the status of golf in the country and how to,
further improve
it and develop it. So when he came, he was involved with Golf Australia for about 15 odd years, developing the game over there. And in his report, he said nothing exists other than in the South Zone. And he used the South Zone, he said that the South Zone showcases what is happening here. And this is the way you should run programs, which was really heartening for us. So what the IGU did was, very happy to say, that they started replicating our South Zone program in the North, East and West. Yes, exactly. And with that, things started even happening even at a faster scale. Now the situation is such that the zonal tours have become like feeder tours to the main tour.
For the men's section?
Men's section as well as for the juniors.
Okay.
Because unless you can qualify here, you don't even get a slot to play on the national tour.
True.
Because there are too many players coming up, up-and-coming players. So it's been really nice. But I still feel that we have not yet, reached anywhere near our potential. The problem is that we don't have a true player pathway for someone who can start golf, who's in school, continue to play, because again, most of our clubs are private clubs. We don't have clubs which are like abroad where there are public courses. No, public courses.
Okay.
Where anybody can go, just pay a green fee and go and play. Yeah. Delhi has one course, Qutub course, and 1 or 2 others in the country. There's also a lack of driving ranges because of the want of space. A country like South Korea, for example, they have just about the same number of golf courses that India has. We have about 250 golf courses, they have maybe about 300. But they've got 2,500 driving ranges. And this is where their youngsters are learning golf, because during the week they come in there after school or some of them after work. They go out there, hit balls, their coaches are based there, they get good training, and maybe they play 1 round a week. but they've got the facility of the driving range, which we are lacking. And as you know, the Koreans, especially the ladies, they're
the top.
The top. Their world top players are from Korea. So
Now, coming back, it makes us proud that Ryan, coming from a smaller town like Mysore, you've gone on to become the IGU president in 2013 and 14 with such a vast experience working with the IGU and the junior golf. Tell us how it meant to you being at the helm, and what were the activities which you undertook during your helm.
see, when you work for the game, gives you immense satisfaction and pleasure, especially youngsters. When you're working with the youngsters and seeing them grow up, today I can, for example, Anirban he joined our program just before he finished being a junior. So he may have been there for about a year or so. But from those days, Chikrangappa, I've seen Chikka, I've taken some of them out, I've taken Chikka abroad for a number of tournaments that we have played abroad. I've been the manager. The amount of pleasure it gives you, especially when you go stand there and when your team wins or a team member takes the first place, and to hear the national anthem being played, it makes the hair on your body stand on end. It is immense. It is fantastic. So that satisfaction one can't touch. And the other thing is that you're meeting with the best minds on the game at the national level. You're meeting people who have done wonderful things, who have reached, I was lucky that I got to be the president when I did. There were so many more people who are more qualified than me who could have been the president as well. But it just happened that things fell into place at that time, and I was the right person at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
But the chance of an opportunity for working with other luminaries of the game, not just from India but also from abroad, was really, really satisfying. Yes.
Yeah. Well, nice to hear this. I'm too proud to also being a Mysorean myself, and a Mysorean being at the helm and running the sport in the country. Now coming back to Mysore, you see a lot of young players coming up, like Pranaviyas in the juniors, and then now in the professional on our ninth leg, and followed it up in the men's section with Yashash Chandra and Alap and Praful Chand. A lot of youngsters, and Aryan has won twice the amateur. So how do you see the scene developing in Mysore as a golfing city amongst the south, and how is the future?
Let me put it this way. In the last 15 years, 10 to 15 years, parents of youngsters have seen that sport is an avenue for their children. Maybe in the 15 years or 20 years ago.
You have Vidatri also.
Yes, Vidatri is there. So you are seeing a lot of parents who feel that yes, if my child wants to become a professional sports person, that is career path for that child. You didn't see this
maybe 20 years back.
20 years ago, no. The children, if you saw the pros coming out in those days, either they were youngsters who were caddy boys who came from...
For example, Harish from this club went on to become a pro.
Club, yes, who's turned pro. So you found players like that who found that if they did well on the golfing circuit, it opened a number of doors for them, gave them a better chance at life of, moving ahead. Whereas 20 years ago, parents wanted their children only to study, and it was either doctor, engineer, or whatever. So here this whole thing has opened up where parents are very open now, which is a brilliant thing. They're even willing to do homeschooling so that children can also concentrate more on the game. Coupled with that, and I must say that the IGU has also helped tremendously on that front, is with the growth of the national, the NGI, which is National Golf Academy of India, which trains the coaches.
Okay.
So they train in accredited coaches. So there's been a plethora of coaches who have come up speaking the same language,
Okay.
who are teaching the same fundamentals. So the children are also getting better
Quality.
of coaching,
Correct.
which was not there available
At the
20
grassroots
years.
level.
Yes, absolutely. You see, NGI, we used to get Donato used to come in, PGA. He was a big teacher from Europe, and he used to come in and he said, why am I coming? I can come every year, but I would rather have you set up an academy so you have your own teachers to start
Correct.
teaching,
Correct.
which is what has happened. And today we have over, I think, 500 or 600 accredited coaches in the country, which is a good step forward.
Now with Anirban, Larry, Jeev Milkha Singh and the other Sher Atwal and Subankar, all these players going to the next level.
Yes.
How do you think is the growth in the Indian golfing scene in the men's and also in the women's section? If you see our own Bangalore girl,
Yes.
Aditi,
Yes.
doing so well, in the Olympics.
European tour and the Olympics, she just missed.
Yeah,
the
by a
medal
whisker. Yeah.
So all of these, they are like role models for the game. Actually, for us, it started with guys like Jeev Milkha Singh, Jyoti Randhawa, Arjun Atwal, who won
Yes.
the first tournament on the US PGA Tour, the first Indian. And of course, like Jyoti, who won on the
Gaurav
European
Ghai.
Tour, Gaurav Ghai. So like this, there are a number of golfers, and now the second rung
Batch,
has come up. And this really motivates the youngsters. It really motivates them, makes them feel, that they can win. And Indians traditionally have been very good at individual sports, be it badminton or chess or
tennis.
shooting or archery or tennis. They excel when it's themselves. I don't know why, but one needs to sort of analyze that. But, yes, cricket is a team sport. But even in cricket, you will notice that there are some
Certain
stars
icons
and,
playing their
yes,
roles.
Exactly.
So look at
I see there's a great future.
yeah, looking at the present scene and the development. Do you think more number of professional tournaments are the need of the hour for both in the professional level and the amateur level in the country?
Definitely, the pro tour is struggling a little bit. There's not enough money flowing in, so it needs to keep growing at a more and more faster pace. Yes, it has been sluggish a little bit, especially with COVID, and COVID has hurt a lot of sports. So it needs to again regain its
Pick up
again. So money needs to flow, and sponsors need to come up with it, and things need to happen. And otherwise, it's going to be a little difficult, because when you're on the tour, if there's not enough money to go around, then it doesn't.
Do you think the government needs to chip in more to promote golf in the country?
I think the government needs not give money, but they can facilitate, for example, driving ranges. They can facilitate by creating spaces for driving ranges, even golf courses. There are some places where the government is doing that. Noida has done it, and Delhi has done it. Or when they're doing these big layouts, for example, Ambuda is doing, they can also build a golf course and give it out on a contract to manage, and have housing around the golf course. And everywhere in the world, 85% of the people who buy property around a golf course don't play golf. But the facility is there for those to come. And it acts as a lung space.
And thanks for coming
Thanks
and
so
having
much,
a chat.
Thank you very much.